Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is a documentary that we're going to call Bobby Labonte, The Tale of Two NASCAR Careers. Bobby Labonte is a former NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, Craftsman Truck Series, Modifieds, and IROC driver who competed from 1982 through 2025. He's the younger brother of two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Terry Labonte. Bobby himself is the 2000 NASCAR Cup Series champion, together making them the first set of brothers to both win NASCAR Cup Series championships. Throughout this video, we will look at Bobby's entire racing career and go over some facts you more than likely didn't realize. So sit back and enjoy. Bobby Labonte, The Tale of Two NASCAR Careers. The younger of the two Labonte brothers, Bobby was born in May of 1964 in Corpus Christi, Texas. His racing career began in 1969, racing quarter midgets in his home state of Texas, winning his first feature race about 1 year after starting racing quarter midgets, continuing to race quarter midgets throughout the United States through 1977, winning plenty of races. Though Bobby followed his brother, Terry, to North Carolina with the rest of his family when Terry joined the NASCAR Cup Series. In 1982, Bobby Labonte made his Xfinity Series debut at Martinsville behind the wheel of a family-owned number 44 Oldsmobile, starting 15th and finishing 26th after an issue ended his race early on lap 30. He would work as a fabricator on his brother Terry's race cars at Hagen Racing after graduating from high school in 82. Returning to the Xfinity Series in 1985, behind the wheel of a family-owned number 81 Chevrolet, running both the Martinsville races that season, starting 26th both races. His best finish was 17th in the fall race. Bobby Labonte really started to find on-track success driving late-model stock cars in the second half of the 1980s, winning 12 races and the track championship at Caraway Speedway in 1987. At Concord Motorsports Park in 1988, Bobby won 6 times in late-model stocks, as well as returning to the Xfinity Series, making 6 more starts also in 1988. Then 7 more in 1989 in the Xfinity Series, all behind the wheel of his family-owned number 44 Winter Circle Auto Parts Buick. Labonte's best start was 5th at Darlington in the fall of 1989, and his best finish was 4th at Rockingham in the spring of 1989. Overall, in 13 Xfinity Series starts between 1988 and 89, Labonte scored 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s. After several years of running a select schedule in the Xfinity Series, Bobby Labonte was able to finally go racing full-time starting in 1990, and would remain as a full-time driver in the series through the 1992 season, making 93 starts over the course of the 3 seasons, all behind the wheel of his family-owned number 44 Penrose Firecracker Oldsmobiles for the first 2 seasons. Then Slim Jim came aboard the race team as their primary sponsor for the 1992 season. Bobby's father, Bob Labonte, served as his crew chief. 1990 was a breakout season for Bobby, qualifying for all the races, scoring his first 2 Xfinity Series career poles at both the Bristol races. His best finish was 2nd twice at Darlington in the spring and Loudon in the fall, finishing out the 1990 season with 6 top 5s and 17 top 10s, finishing 4th in final Xfinity Series point standings. Also winning the series' Most Popular Driver award in 1990. The 1991 season ended up being a very strong season for Bobby, working his way into the top 5 in points by race 4 and the top 2 in points by race 8, and never dropping lower than that the remainder of the season. Labonte's best start was 1st twice at Richmond and Martinsville in the fall, and his best finish was 1st also twice at Bristol in the spring and IRP in the late summer. This was Bobby's first 2 Xfinity Series victories of his career. Overall, in 31 starts, Labonte scored 2 poles, 2 wins, 10 top 5s, and 21 top 10s, winning the 1991 Xfinity Series championship, making his NASCAR Cup Series debut at Dover early in the summer, starting 33rd and finishing 34th, also making another start at Michigan in the summer, behind the wheel of a number 14 and number 44 Oldsmobile, sponsored by Slim Jim. After winning the Xfinity Series championship in 1991, Slim Jim became the primary sponsor for Labonte's number 44 Chevrolet. While the team got off to a bit of a slow start, Bobby had that number 44 up inside the top 5 in point standings by race 9 and held it there for the rest of the season, His best start was second at Loudon in the summer, and his best finish was first 3 times, at Lanier in the spring, then Martinsville and Hickory in the fall. Overall, in 31 starts, Bobby scored 3 wins, 13 top 5s, and 19 top 10s, finishing second in final Xfinity Series point standings. Bill Davis had built a race team around Jeff Gordon in the early 1990s, with a plan to make the jump into the NASCAR Cup Series full-time with major factory support from Ford. That was until Rick Hendrick got in Gordon and his stepfather's ear, bringing them to the Cup Series, driving for Chevrolet. This left Bill Davis without a driver for his planned jump to the Cup Series. Following Bobby Labonte's success in the Xfinity Series over the previous few seasons, he needed a Cup Series ride also. So, for the time, it was a natural fit. Labonte made the jump to the Cup Series behind the wheel of the number 22 Maxwell House Ford for 1993, driving for Bill Davis Racing. Labonte ran for Rookie of the Year honors alongside Gordon. Tim Brewer, fresh off a championship-worthy season with Junior Johnson & Associates number 11 Budweiser Ford team, Bill Elliott in 1992, served as Labonte's crew chief for the 93 season, spending the first half of the season working his way up from roughly 30th in points to roughly 20th in points by race 20 of the 30-race season, and remaining there for the remainder of 1993. At one point, from about midsummer into the fall, there was a 9-race stretch where they didn't finish worse than 15th. Bobby's best start was first at Richmond in the fall, and his best finish was 7th twice at Watkins Glen in the summer and Dover in the fall. Overall, in 30 starts, Bobby scored 1 pole, 0 wins, 0 top 5s, and 6 top 10s, finishing 19th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. He ended up finishing second in the Rookie of the Year standings to Jeff Gordon in 1993, only making 2 Xfinity Series starts in 1993, both behind the wheel of the family-owned number 14 MW Windows Chevrolet. Bobby's best start was first at Hickory in the fall, and his best finish was second at Martinsville in the spring. Remaining with Davis for the 1994 season, though there were a couple changes. The team switched from Fords to Pontiacs and parted ways with Tim Brewer, putting Chris Hussey on the pit box for the number 22 team in 1994. Spending the 1994 season between 16th and 24th in point standings, Labonte's best start was 4th, 3 times, at Richmond and Loudon in the summer, then Dover in the fall. His best finish was 5th at Michigan in the late summer. Overall, in 31 starts, Labonte scored 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s, finishing 21st in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. Back in the Xfinity Series, Bobby made 12 starts throughout the 94 season, behind the wheel of Carl Wagner's number 33 Dentine Chevrolets and Pontiacs. Bobby's best start was first at Loudon in the spring, and his best finish was first in Michigan in the late summer. Overall, in 12 starts, Labonte scored 1 pole, 1 win, 2 top 5s, and 3 top 10s, finishing 35th in final Xfinity Series point standings. At the conclusion of the 1994 season, Labonte and Davis parted ways, replacing an outgoing Dale Jarrett behind the wheel of Joe Gibbs Racing's number 18 Interstate Batteries Chevrolet, starting full-time in 1995. Jimmy Maycar would serve as Bobby's crew chief for the next 8 seasons. This was the race team in which Bobby Labonte would find the vast majority of his success in NASCAR. He really helped build Joe Gibbs Racing into one of the top teams in the NASCAR Cup Series. Labonte's time driving for Gibbs will be broken down into a few different segments. The first segment, we'll say, is from 1995 through 1997. This is where Labonte and that number 18 team would first show that they could find success in back-to-back seasons. The team would make the switch from Chevrolets to Pontiacs starting in 1997. Bobby would score his first career pole at Martinsville in the spring and his first career victory at Charlotte in the spring, both in 1995. Labonte's best start was first 9 times at Martinsville in the spring, Michigan in the late summer of 1995, Dover, Charlotte, Phoenix, and Atlanta in the fall of 1996, Dover in the early summer, Darlington in the late summer, and Rockingham in the fall of 1997. His best finish was first 5 times, at Charlotte in the spring, then both Michigan races in 1995, Atlanta in the fall of 1996 and 97. Overall, 94 starts, Labonte scored 9 poles, 5 wins, 21 top 5s, and 46 top 10s, with the best points finish of 7th, in 1997. Also during this time, in 1996 and 1997, Labonte made 32 starts behind the wheel of his self-owned number 44 Shell Oil Chevrolets and Pontiacs in the Xfinity Series. Bobby's best start was first, 3 times, at Dover in the early summer, then Charlotte and Homestead in the fall of 1996. His best finish was first twice, at Nashville Fairgrounds in the spring of 1996, and Dover in the summer of 1997. Overall, in 32 starts, Bobby scored 3 poles, 2 wins, 13 top 5s, and 21 top 10s, with the best points finish at 19th in 1996, as well as making his Craftsman Truck Series debut at Phoenix in the fall of 1996, behind the wheel of Kevin Durant's number 77 Chevrolet, starting 24th and finishing 34th. After an engine issue, ended his race early on lap 31. Labonte also made his IROC debut in 1997 at California, having a strong run, leading 25 laps, and finishing second. Segment 2, 1998 through 1999, becoming a championship contender. Both seasons were very solid by anyone's definition of the term, though their 1999 season was definitely the stronger of the two. Finding his way to victory lane twice in 98 and 5 times in 99, spending the first portion of the 98 season working his way up to 5th in points and staying between 5th and 7th for the remainder of the 98 season. Now in 1999, Bobby found the top 5 in points by race 2 and stayed there for the rest of the season. Bobby's best start was first 8 times, at Talladega in the spring, and both Daytona races in 1998, both Charlotte races, Las Vegas, and Atlanta in the spring, then Dover in the early summer of 1999. His best finish was first 7 times, at Atlanta and Talladega in the spring of 1998, both Pocono races, and Dover in early summer, Michigan in late summer, then Atlanta in the fall of 1999. Overall, in 67 starts, Bobby Labonte scored 8 poles, 7 wins, 34 top 5s, and 44 top 10s, with the best points finish of second in 1999. In the Xfinity Series, Labonte made 6 starts during this time frame of 1998 and 1999. Behind the wheel of the Joe Gibbs Racing number 44 Shell Oil Pontiac in 1998, and 3 attempts in Joe Gibbs Racing's number 18 MB&A Pontiac in 1999, qualifying for 1 race. His best start was first at Charlotte in 1998 in the spring, and his best finish was first at Darlington in the spring of 1998. Overall, in 6 starts, Labonte scored 1 pole, 1 win, 2 top 5s, and 3 top 10s. Labonte also ran his first full IROC series in 1999. His best finish was second, coming at Daytona in the spring. Overall, in 4 starts, he scored 3 top 5s and 4 top 10s, finishing 3rd in final point standings. The third segment will be called the year 2000. The same season, Labonte won his first and only career NASCAR Cup Series championship. This would be the peak for Labonte's racing career, followed by a pretty sharp fall-off over the next few seasons. Labonte took the point lead week 3 of the season, and only lost it for 1 week between that point and the conclusion of the 2000 season. Bobby's best start was first 3 times, at Michigan in the early summer, Watkins Glen in the late summer, and Loudon in the fall. His best finish was first 4 times, at Rockingham in the spring, Indianapolis in the summer, then Darlington and Charlotte in the fall. Overall, in 34 starts, Labonte scored 3 poles, 4 wins, 19 top 5s, and 24 top 10s, winning the 2000 NASCAR Cup Series championship. Bobby ran the full 4-race IROC series again in 2000. His best finish was first at Talladega in the spring. Overall, in 4 starts, Labonte scored 1 win, 1 top 5, and 4 top 10s, finishing 4th in final point standings. The 2000 Cup Series championship made he and his brother the first and only brothers to win NASCAR Cup Series championships until the Busch brothers. Bobby also became only the 2nd driver to ever win both the Xfinity Series and NASCAR Cup Series championships. Ned Jarrett was the other driver. Starting in 1999, Joe Gibbs Racing expanded into a 2-car operation. Now, some have speculated that that's what started the downturn in performance for Bobby Labonte, though in my opinion, there's not much credence to this theory. Now, Stewart did win the 2002 Cup Series championship, the same season that Labonte had his worst season since joining Joe Gibbs Racing in 1995. Segment 4, we will call Trying to Remain Successful. From 2001 through 2003, Bobby Labonte remained behind the wheel of the number 18 Interstate battery Chevrolets and Pontiacs, switching back to Chevrolets from Pontiacs in 2003, as well as parting ways with longtime crew chief Jimmy Makar near the end of the 2002 season, with fatback Michael McSwain replacing him atop the pit box. Bobby's best start was first, 5 times, at California in the spring of 2001, both Michigan races, then Las Vegas and Texas in the spring of 2003. His best finish was first, also 5 times, at Pocono in the late summer and Atlanta in the fall of 2001, Martinsville in the spring of 2002, Atlanta in the spring, and Homestead in the fall of 2003. Overall, in 108 starts, Bobby scored 5 poles, 5 wins, 26 top 5s, and 44 top 10s, with the best points finish at 6th, coming in 2001. The final 2 seasons that Bobby ran the IROC Series was in 2001 and 2002. By far the better of the 2 seasons was 2001. Labonte won at Talladega and Indianapolis. Overall, in his 4 starts, he scored 2 wins, 4 top 5s, and 4 top 10s, winning the 2001 IROC Championship. In 2002, Bobby's best finish was 2nd at California in the spring. Overall, in 4 starts, he scored 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s, finishing 5th in final IROC Series point standings. With his Cup Series team having difficulties, Bobby Labonte stopped running the IROC Series at the end of the 2002 season. The 5th and final segment of Bobby Labonte's run at Joe Gibbs Racing was from 2004 to 2005. The first half of the 2004 season wasn't that bad, truthfully, while McSwain was still his crew chief. Though, following race 18 in Chicagoland, McSwain was replaced by Brandon Thomas, a very underexperienced crew chief for the driver and team. Labonte was sitting 6th in point standings and had already recorded 5 top 5s and 9 top 10s in just 18 starts with McSwain as his crew chief. With Thomas leading the number 18 Chevrolet, Bobby only scored 2 more top 10 finishes the whole second half of the season. His best start was first at Texas in the spring. His best finish was 2nd 3 times, at Darlington and Martinsville in the spring of 2004, then Charlotte in the spring of 2005. Then Gibbs replaced Thomas at the end of the 2004 season with Steve Addington for the 2005 season. The 2004 season was much better than 2005, as Labonte spent the 2005 season between 23rd and 37th in points. Overall, in 72 starts, Labonte scored 1 pole, 0 wins, 9 top 5s, and 18 top 10s, with the best points finish at 12th in 2004. In the Xfinity Series, Labonte made a one-off start for Richard Childress Racing behind the wheel of their number 29 ESGR Army National Guard Chevrolet at Texas in the spring of 2004, starting 9th and finishing 11th. He also made 11 attempts for Joe Gibbs Racing, qualifying 8 times, making 2 starts in 2004 behind the wheel of the team's number 18 Banquet Foods Chevrolet. His best start was 16th at Charlotte in the fall, and his best finish was 7th at California in the fall. In 2005, Bobby made 7 starts behind the wheel of Gibbs' number 19 Banquet Foods Eckerd Chevrolet. His best start was 12th, and his best finish was 6th, both coming at Charlotte in the spring. Overall, in 10 starts, Labonte scored 5 top 10s. Also making his return to the Craftsman Truck Series in 2004, making 2 starts behind the wheel of Rob Morgan's number 47 Axiom Chevrolet. Labonte's best start was 5th at Homestead in the fall, and his best finish was 3rd at Martinsville in the fall. Then in 2005, Bobby made 5 more Craftsman Truck Series starts, 4 behind the wheel of David Dollar's number 47 Chevrolet, the Contender Chevrolet. Bobby's best start was 5th, and his best finish was 1st, both coming at Martinsville in the spring, as well as making a one-off start for David Fuge's number 16 Chevrolet at Martinsville in the fall, starting 19th and finishing 22nd. Overall, in 7 Craftsman Truck Series starts, Labonte scored 1 win, 4 top 5s, and 4 top 10s. The Craftsman Truck Series victory made Bobby Labonte the first driver to ever win the NASCAR Triple Threat at any track. That is when a driver has 1 win in each of the top 3 series in NASCAR at the same track. At the conclusion of the 2005 season, Labonte and Gibbs parted ways after 11 seasons together, joining Petty Enterprises starting in 2006 and remaining the driver of the number 43 Cheerios Dodge through the end of the 2008 Cup Series season. Todd Parrott started the 2006 season as Bobby's crew chief, and remained so through race 22 at Watkins Glen. Greg Stepman served as his crew chief for the following 4 races. Then Paul Andrews served as his crew chief for the Fall Loudon race, followed by 4 races with Billy Wilburn atop the number 43 pit box. Then for the final 5 races of the 2006 season, Andrews returned to lead the number 43 Dodge race team. Andrews served as Labonte's crew chief for the first 22 races of the 2007 season, with Doug Randolph taking over for the rest of the 2007 season. Jeff Meandering was the only crew chief Bobby had in 2008. Believe it or not, his best statistical season was 2006, the same season he had several crew chief swaps. Making 108 starts over the 3-season stretch, Labonte's best start was second at Loudon in the summer of 2008. His best finish was third at Martinsville in the fall of 2006. Overall, in 108 starts, Bobby scored 3 top 5s and 13 top 10s, with the best points finish of 18th in 2007. As far as the Xfinity Series during this time, in 2006, Bobby Labonte made 7 starts, 2 for Bruco Motorsports number 66 Cub Cadet Mercy Home Ford, then 5 for Kevin Harvick Incorporated's number 77 Dollar General Chevrolet. Bobby's best start was 6th at Homestead in the fall, and his best finish was 9th twice at Kansas and Texas in the fall. Overall, in 7 starts, he scored 2 top 10s. The next season, in 2007, Labonte returned to the number 77 Dollar General Chevrolet owned by Kevin Harvick Incorporated, making 19 starts throughout the 07 season. His best start was 5th at Bristol in the spring, and his best finish was 1st at Talladega in the spring. This would be the final Xfinity Series victory of Labonte's career. Overall, 19 starts, Labonte scored 1 win, 1 top 5, and 3 top 10s, finishing 28th in final Xfinity Series point standings. Then in 2008, Labonte made 5 more Xfinity Series starts, this time behind the wheel of Richard Childress Racing's number 21 Chevrolet. Bobby's best start was 7th at Daytona in the spring, and his best finish was 4th at Texas in the spring. Overall, in 5 starts, Labonte scored 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s. Down in the Craftsman Truck Series, he made 2 starts, one in 2006 and one in 2007, both for Bobby Hamilton Racing's number 4 Dodge race team, and both at Michigan in the early summer. By far the stronger run for Labonte came in 2006, when he started 7th and finished 3rd. The start in 2007 was his final Craftsman Truck Series start of his career so far. Labonte and Petty Enterprises parted ways at the end of the 2008 season. In a 1-year deal, Bobby Labonte signed on to drive Hall of Fame Racing's number 96 Ask.com DLP HDTB Ford, making 29 starts behind the wheel of that number 96, including the first 24 races of the season. Todd Parrott served as Bobby's crew chief for the first 10 races of the season, before getting replaced by former Roush Racing crew chief Ben Leslie. Starting at race 25 in Atlanta, Bobby began making the occasional start behind the wheel of the Racing Group Motorsports number 71 Chevrolet, making 7 starts in all, including the final 4 starts of the season. Labonte was all over the board in 2009, spending the season between 10th and 31st in points. Labonte's best start was 8th twice at Loudon and Martinsville in the fall. His best finish was 5th at Las Vegas in the spring. Overall, in 36 starts, Labonte scored 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s, finishing 30th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. Things continued to be very unstable for Bobby Labonte in 2010, qualifying for all 36 races at least, making starts for 4 different race teams throughout that season alone. Making the first 16 starts of the season behind the wheel of the Racing Group Motorsports number 71 Chevrolet, making 19 starts throughout the entire season for that team. Bobby's best start was 8th at Sonoma in the summer, and his best finish was 21st twice at Daytona and Bristol in the spring. Also making 14 starts behind the wheel of James Finch's number 09 Phoenix Construction C&J Energy Services Chevrolet. Bobby's best start was 17th at Kansas in the fall, and his best finish was 16th at Daytona in the summer. Overall, in 14 starts, Labonte scored 2 top 20s. His older brother Terry and Billy Stavola, one of the brothers who used to own the former NASCAR Cup Series race team, Stavola Brothers Racing. The two formed Stavola Labonte Racing, a number 10 Gander Mountain Outdoors Chevrolet, a single-car Cup Series race team. Bobby ended up making the only 2 starts that the race team would ever make it in the fall of 2010. Bobby's best start was 30th, and his best finish was 22nd, both coming at Charlotte in the fall. At Loudon in the summer, Labonte made a one-off start for Robbie Gordon Motorsports behind the wheel of their number 7 Speed Factory Toyota, starting 42nd and finishing 30th. Overall, in 36 starts, Labonte scored 2 top 20s, finishing 31st in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. After a couple very unstable seasons, bouncing from available ride to available low-level ride, well, for the 2011 and 2012 seasons, Bobby found some stability, driving both seasons for JTG Daugherty Racing's number 47 Kingsford Busch's Baked Beans Toyota full-time. Frank Kerr began the 2011 season as Labonte's crew chief, until race 33, when Brian Burns took over the position. Todd Berrier began the 2012 season as Labonte's crew chief until race 20 at Indy, when David Hyder served as Bobby's crew chief for that single race. Brian Burns returned to lead that number 47 team for the remainder of the 2012 season. Labonte had an excellent run in his first start with the number 47 team, starting 17th, leading 2 laps, and finishing 4th in the 2011 Daytona 500. From there, it was a series of ups and downs, though Labonte would never finish inside the top 5 in the NASCAR Cup Series the rest of his career. Meaning, things did not improve for Labonte very much with the well-funded number 47 Toyota race team. His best start was 7th at Martinsville in the spring of 2011, and his best finish was the aforementioned 4th at Daytona in the spring of 2011. Overall, in 72 starts, Labonte scored 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s, with the best points finish of 23rd in 2012. Remaining behind the wheel of the JTG Daugherty number 47 Clorox Busch's Baked Beans Toyota for the first 14 races of the season in 2013. With the best finish of 15th to that point in the season, team officials made the decision to put A.J. Allmendinger behind the wheel of that number 47 for 9 races altogether, 3 of which were made while Allmendinger was serving as Labonte's substitute driver while Bobby was out with broken ribs from a bicycle accident. Labonte's best start was 20th at Sonoma in the summer, and his best finish was 15th at Daytona in the spring. In Michigan in June, Labonte made a one-off start for James Finch's number 51 Phoenix Construction Chevrolet, starting 20th and finishing 43rd, following a lap 5 accident. Overall, in 28 starts, Labonte scored 1 top 15 and 4 top 20s, finishing 34th in final NASCAR Cup Series point standings. At the conclusion of the 2013 season, Labonte and JTG Daugherty Racing completely parted ways. The following season, in 2014, Labonte found himself without a stable ride of any kind. He would spend a fair amount of time during the 2014 season serving as Richard Childress Racing's test driver. He did make 3 NASCAR Cup Series starts for 3 different teams that season. The Daytona 500 was ran in the second team car for H. Scott Motorsports, a number 52 Florida Lottery Chevrolet, starting 26th and finishing 15th. Talladega in the spring, Brian Scott made one of his select Cup Series starts that he made in 2014, and in fact qualified on the pole, driving for Richard Childress Racing. Labonte got that same car for the Coke 0400 at Daytona in the summer, though he's running it under Joe Falk's Circle Sport Racing banner, not Richard Childress Racing. Behind the wheel of the number 33 Chevrolet, Labonte started 4th and finished 26th, after a lap 98 crash ended his race early. Bobby's final start in 2014 came at Indianapolis in the summer, driving a second team car for Tommy Baldwin Motorsports, a number 37 Excel Construction Chevrolet, starting 43rd and finishing 37th. The final couple seasons that Bobby Labonte made starts in one of NASCAR's top 3 touring series was 2015 and 2016, making 8 NASCAR Cup Series starts, all behind the wheel of Fas-Lane Racing's number 32 C&J Energy Services Ford. Bobby's best start was 28th, and his best finish was 19th, both coming at Talladega in the spring of 2016. His final NASCAR Cup Series start came at Talladega in the fall of 2016, starting 38th and finishing 31st. Overall, in 8 starts, Labonte scored 1 top 20. Also in 2016, Bobby returned to Joe Gibbs Racing, making a one-off start in the Xfinity Series at Daytona in the spring, behind the wheel of a number 18 NOS Energy Drink Toyota, starting 3rd and finishing 23rd. Following his time in NASCAR, Labonte started running local short tracks again, running the Whelen Euro Series overseas from 2017 through 2019, actually running the full schedule in 2018, behind the wheel of a number 18 Toyota for Team RDB competition. His best finish was 2nd at Tours Speedway in France. Tours Speedway is a 1/3 mile oval. Overall, in 11 starts in 2018, Labonte scored 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s, finishing 14th in overall point standings. From 2021 to 2023, Bobby ran 3 full schedules of the SRX Series. He actually won the feature race at National Fairgrounds in 2022, placing 3rd in final series standings twice in 2021 and 2022. Now, from 2022 to 2023, Bobby ran the full schedule in the Smart Modified Tour, racing the first 2 seasons for Michael Smith, and the 2023 season he ran for Sadler and Stanley Racing, Hermie Sadler and politician Bill Stanley's race team. That's the same race team that Bobby still makes the occasional modified start for today. He finished 3rd in final points in 2022. Bobby Labonte was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in the class of 2020, as well as being named one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers in 2023. The title of this video, Bobby Labonte, The Tale of Two NASCAR Careers, is derived from the fact that Bobby had a Hall of Fame-worthy NASCAR career. Then it was like the second half of his career, he was almost just another also-ran, as opposed to a former NASCAR Cup Series champion. Oddly, this would happen to the next driver to win a Cup Series championship, driving that number 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing, and he just went through this, almost exactly what Labonte did, at the same age, both in their late 30s. So it's not like their reflexes or anything was giving out quite yet. Just odd. At first this happened to Bobby Labonte, and now it's happened to Kyle Busch. Another fact, if you remember, is that they both are the younger brother in each of their Cup Series championship winning brother pairings. The only 2 pairings, in fact. So, in 729 NASCAR Cup Series starts, Labonte scored 26 poles, 21 wins, 115 top 5s, and 203 top 10s, winning the 2000 NASCAR Cup Series championship. In 203 Xfinity Series starts, Labonte scored 10 poles, 10 wins, 51 top 5s, and 100 top 10s, winning the 1991 Xfinity Series championship. In 10 Craftsman Truck Series starts, Bobby scored 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 5 top 10s. In 15 NASCAR Euro Series starts, he scored 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s, with the best points finish of 14th in 2018. In 17 IROC starts, Labonte scored 3 wins, 10 top 5s, and 17 top 10s, winning the 2001 IROC Series championship. In 41 Smart Modified Tour starts, Bobby scored 5 wins, 20 top 5s, and 32 top 10s, with the best points finish of 3rd in 2022. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take care.